Today's SnowMotion chairlift interview is with professional skier Chris Anthony. He's been the inspiration behind the movie Climb to Glory. Tell us about this movie.
Thanks, Brenda. Oh, I'm pretty fired up about this movie. This was a 5-year project that all came about with just my lack of knowledge about the men that came before us. And those were the 10th Mountain Division. They were part of the Greatest Generation, and they trained not too far away from here, about 30 miles away from here in the Pando Valley, an area that now is known as Camp Hale. And those men trained there for a couple of years between the years of like 1942 and 1944, before they were deployed into World War II and fought in Italy. And it was there that they achieved many great feats. They suffered a lot of losses, but what more inspiring even than that, what they did in the war, was when they returned back here to the United States post-war, is the impact that they had on the outdoor industry, particularly the ski industry. And right here, the Vail Mountains. I mean, Pete Seibert, one of basically the veterans of the 10th Mountain Division, was one of the co-founders, along with Bob Parker and several others, of Vail Mountain. Those guys were brought together for wartime means, which isn't the greatest reason to be brought together, but were the bonds that they created being here in the mountains, and because of the mountains is what brought them all back together, and then even more so brought them back to the United States, and it gave them a goal to be very productive. And because of what they did, we have this today.
And if you ever are cold or you don't feel like you're tough, you got to watch this movie. These guys are tough.
Very, very tough. We actually, part of making the film was for myself and Tony Seibert, who's the grandson of Pete Seibert, as well as Scott Kennett, who's a descendant of one of the 10th Mountain vets, for all of us to go and actually get on the same gear as that they were on in 1941 to 1945.
To see this movie, to see you on the equipment that they used was just
embarrassing.
I'm like, okay, Chris can't do it. How did they do it? How did they do it?
I don't know. You look at the vintage films that these guys, of them skiing around on this equipment up there, you know, ungroomed slopes, obviously, and they were just ripping around, and they were carrying their backpacks that were, 90 pounds and above. And we actually had the backpacks on, but I had mine stuffed with pillows.
Yeah. Chris, tell us about the different Warren Miller movies you've been in.
Wow, there's been, I just finished filming my 26th year with them. I don't know the name of that film, as it's still in the works, but we just finished No Turning Back. That was so my 25th year, their 65th year, if you can believe it or not. And we shot that segment in Alaska. I was with Ingrid Backstrom and Jess McMillan. Awesome segment.
Okay, tell the viewer what it's like to be in a Warren Miller movie.
Oh gosh, I grew up with the Warren Miller films. Had the posters on my wall and idolized all the skiers in it. And my parents, I think, took me to the films when I was in a crib. They just rolled me in, and I was sitting there watching them, and I always dreamed of being in one. So when that phone call came, it was very special.
Are you ever afraid? I mean, if you do the big mountain and you're jumping a cliff or whatever you're doing?
There's definitely moments where you're really, really nervous. And I those guys that sit there and say, "Oh, I'm not scared," there's something wrong with them. I'm scared all the time, and I think that's natural. It's keeping you in check. So there's a lot of times I've questioned a lot of the stuff that we're doing, and it makes you really look deep inside and search for that extra special thing. The Warren Miller guys have been amazing too. They've been such a great support system for me. They're really responsible for making the Climb to Glory happen. I kept coming back to them with this story about these guys. So it was really a combination between that relationship with Warren Miller Entertainment and also the Colorado Ski and Snowboard Museum, that they helped me pull this film off. And I'm loyal to Warren Miller Entertainment. I'm loyal to our skiing, and I've just been able to just sort of live the dream and have fun.
It's a good life. It's a good life. But I think what you've done too with this movie, and you're saying how it's educated these young kids and really showing them history and how the sport started.
Well, it's been fun. My career has been long and extensive in skiing, and the last now 26 years with the Warren Miller film. And I guess in a way that's made me a little bit of an image or a mentor for kids. So I've taken that momentum and I've started a youth foundation, a youth project. And I've been going into schools and inspiring kids through motivational speaking engagements. And this year particularly has been really fun because I've been able to take the Climb to Glory and into the films. And since it's a historical and educational film, and it's also very inspiring, it's been a great subject matter that I get to bring into the classroom. And the teachers love it, the parents love it, the kids are entertained, and when the kids are entertained and you have something like that in front of them, they're being educated.
Are you getting more 5th graders, 6th graders, 7th graders out on the slopes?
My goal is to inspire kids to be in the outdoors using the sport of skiing, and if we can roll some of them into this sport, I'd be absolutely delighted with that. But if anything, if we can just get them outdoors or just setting goals for themselves, like explaining to them that if you set something out there, you can actually chase it down and do it. I mean, I don't know, I wasn't the greatest student, but I learned to set goals for myself, and it's worked. It's taken me on a great journey. So I want to share that message. It's not all about the grades or the opening up the books and memorizing things. It's actually about setting a goal out and having something to chase after and be passionate about. And when the kid is passionate, when he's inspired, they start learning. They start learning a lot. So that's the goal of my youth initiative project, is to inspire and educate and entertain kids. And then now I actually have a scholarship program tied onto it. So those kids that aren't financially capable of maybe reaching those goals, I can help financially get them there.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it's fun.
Because you're a big kid. Chris Anthony's a big kid.
I love it. I love the sport. I love the outdoors, and think about all our friends that are a part of it. Those that are here with us now, and those that have gone, as well as watching the up and coming. Got the World Championships happening in Colorado this year. It's so great to see kids that once were in the classroom that I was talking to, and now they're competing at a world-class level. And that's because they set goals for themselves.
Yeah. You're setting the guideline and saying this is important for you, and you're an example, setting the goals and go out and reach them.
I think it's super important for kids to have something to aim for. Set that something up there, whether it's academics, arts, or athletics. They need something. They need to put something out there and fall in love with it and be passionate about it. And they may not achieve that exact goal that they set for themselves, but they will be sent on a journey trying to get there. And on that journey, they're going to discover a lot about themselves and possibly maybe deviate to another direction that they fall in love with.
Well, we know about the goals with even all these top athletes that we are skiing with, and that we know to reach a gold medal in the Olympics, they need to train and have steps.
Absolutely. Michaela Schifrin, still basically, 19 years old. She was in elementary school not too long ago, and look at what she's done by setting goals. Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
So great to be out here, and so great to be part of this industry and part of the filmmaking side of it too. And thank you for sharing this passion, this film, this documentary in your show.
God, we're excited, Chris. It's going to be a highlight in this week's SnowMotion.
All right. Now I've made it.
Yeah, that's right. You've reached your goal. Let's high-five on that. All right, well, let's go skiing. But first, clip your helmet, Chris.
I'll clip my helmet. You put your helmet on.
Oh, yeah, I will. I have it right here. Oops, wait. Here's my helmet. All right, we're going skiing with Chris Anthony.